I honestly cannot with men. Here I am, laying on my bed, ready, where I've been laying for the past hour because I had a date with a guy tonight and we had plans to meet at 8. It's now 8:55. Then eventually he's texting me, asking me if I wanted to come meet him at his work event. No. Every single guy that decides to make plans with you either flakes, ghosts you. I'm sick of wasting my time and my energy on people that don't show up for me. Where are the guys who can actually ask you on a date, follow up with you, make sure that there's a reservation, show up on time, pay for the dinner? Why is that so hard? It's the bare minimum. We are not asking for the world. We're asking to just show up and treat us right.
See, this is the confusing part about women. Because every woman in the world has a load of guys that are willing to take her out, that are willing to treat her nice, that are willing to set reservations. But women normally skip over these guys and end up with the guy that she's chasing now. The guy who will rather go to his work events and tell her to come up with a place so he can go and meet her somewhere because he's somewhere at a work event making sure that he can manage the bag instead of chasing her around. See, with women, if you ask them the type of guy they want, they list off these delusional guys that pretty much it's a guy that doesn't exist at all. But then when it comes to dating, she don't want a guy to chase her at the beginning. She wants a guy to chase her after she's been rejected by the guy that she wants. Welcome back to the Anthony Spade channel. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notifications button so you can get the videos as soon as I put them out. If you're looking for the music to the intro and you want the link to the second channel, both are below in the description. But can you do me a favor? Hit the notifications button right now. All right, guys, I got about 4 videos for you. This video is going to be a guy explaining that most women by the year 2030 are going to be single, and then we have a woman who's going to be responding to that, saying that most women do not even want to be in a relationship, and I would be giving commentary on that. The next video is going to be Kevin Samuels is going to be breaking down to a young lady who is complaining about the type of guys that are out there available for her, and Kevin is telling her, well, women are sleeping with these guys, but then they don't want to marry them. So why are you sleeping with the type of guy that you don't want to marry? And then we would be having Charleston White, which is going viral right now. He will be breaking down relationship advice, and I really like his logic, and big shout outs to Anton Daniels because this will be coming off of Anton Daniels podcast. But let's get to the first video.
Of working women, by 2030, 45% of them are going to be unmarried and no kids. So women who are 38 years old are going to look and say, I've been working my ass off since I'm 21 years old. I've been encouraged to go to school, get a job. I don't need no man. I'm going to become a boss, babes. And they're going to look at themselves, and they're turning 40 next year, and they're going to be like, I've got a couple $100,000 in the bank. No man, no kids, couple cats. So it's hard to tell a woman who's 30 today, right? Hey, you're making all the wrong decisions. So the reality is not going to set in now. It might be 10 years from now.
He's right. The reality will be 10 years down the road. But what you guys have to understand is women live for the moment. They're going to always live for the moment. They're going to continue to live for the moment. But a woman's going to always have a man that wants her regardless. A woman could be 50 years old looking ugly, hit the wall and all. She's still going to have a guy out there that's going to want her, that's going to want to follow her around. She just won't take advantage of it because she'll still have standards within herself. He is absolutely right. There's going to be a lot of girls that are going to be sitting around thinking like, oh my God, I'm 40. But I can tell you this, with the mindset that people have now, not a lot of people want to have kids. Like if you stop and look at the news, the world is getting bad and it's staying bad. But there's also a young lady who wanted to rebuttal to this video. Let's get to her reaction.
All right, lots to unpack here. I am so sick and tired of society making women feel like their sole purpose in life is to be a mom and have kids. When it comes to men, please. With the way that the dating pool's going this day, why would I want a man? Ladies, we're in 2022 and you can do whatever the hell you want. There's absolutely nothing wrong if you want to get married and have kids. But it's also okay if you want to focus on you and your career. That doesn't make you any less of a woman because you have different goals than what men think you should have. The moral of the story is, do what makes you happy and don't allow society and men to make that decision for you.
And she's absolutely right. And I guess we could say that it's pretty much fair that a woman doesn't want kids nowadays, just like a lot of guys don't want kids. But what we've learned from women is that a lot of what comes out of their mouth is not true. A lot of what they pretend to be on surface is what caused them to be miserable behind the scenes. Most women want children. It's just that the girls that get out there and says, I don't want children, normally turn around and want kids in their 40s when people stop giving them attention and not that many guys are chasing them anymore. And they find themselves working a lot at their job, but they don't have anybody to spend the time with. That's my advice to this young lady here. It's cool for you to be into your job. It's cool for you to be independent. It's cool for you to do that. But yes, adults do get to the point of life where they're like, I want to spend some time with someone. I want to go on vacations with someone. This type of talk that she's talking about is for bar chicks. It's for side chicks. It's for one night stands. It's for the party girl. It's for the cool aunt. It's for that lifestyle. It's for women for the streets. So if you're going to run the streets, a woman has to own the streets. But you can't run the streets and then try to come back into the house and mad that no one wants to bring you back into the house. That's what men are talking about. Men are saying, live your best life. But at the end of the day, don't complain when you try to make the switch back and there's nobody standing there with you. Next video is going to be Kevin Samuels. Let's get to it.
I am so willing to submit. Okay, I'm a very naturally submissive person, but I cannot submit to a man who just doesn't have it there together. So that's my problem.
What does that mean?
Tell me that.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
You don't have stability. You don't have a home of your own. You have a roommate. Your brother lives in the next room. Okay, you living with your brother. Your bros are there.
These are men you've dated?
These are men that I have dated, yes.
You had a relationship with them?
Yes.
So you'll date a man, have a man, but you don't submit to him.
I do, but I feel like...
But why are you having with a man who doesn't have his shit together? You knew that before you did all that.
The reason why they continue to date these guys is because naturally they have a breeder's mindset. They're going to be good in bed. They have a high sex drive. That's why they still need masculine men around them. That's why no matter how much money a woman makes, she'll pay for a man to be around her because she still needs someone to sleep with. That's where a lot of black women go wrong at. This is why you get caught up complaining about the type of guy you're eventually going to have a baby with. Like, don't you think over 40 years, every year, the black woman has managed to stay 80% a single mother? Now we're at 90% of black women are single mothers for the past 40 years. All right, it isn't the man's fault. It isn't the white man's fault. It's a psychological disease. All right, it's called social programming. You've been programmed to think this way. It takes you back to the breeder's mindset. You're telling yourself you have standards, but you really just want to have kids so you could take care of them yourself and prove to everybody that you don't need a man. So what happens is your energy and life brings the wrong people into your life just so you can turn around and do what you've been taught to do. And that's be a single mother that don't need a man, that can prove to the world that she could raise these children by herself. See, you think life is just throwing this at you. It's not. Your mother has been breeding it into you ever since you were a child. I tell most black women that you got to go check your mom. When you was a little girl and a lot of these little boys were growing up, you didn't know what was going on as your brain was developing. But the bitterness of dealing with a child had your mother looking at you saying awful things. Your brain was collecting these thoughts. Little girls were being taught at 2, I don't need a man. Mommy said I don't need a man. I could do whatever I want. I don't need a man. So when they grow up, they're thinking, oh, I'm going to have 4 kids, but I'm not thinking about marriage because mommy's already told me since I was 4 years old I don't need a man. So that stays in their subconscious mind for the rest of their life. It's the same thing when a guy becomes a son husband. Being a son husband to your mother is going to be the hardest thing for you to break because you've been a son husband ever since you was a little kid. So as a black man, you go into your adulthood being a simp, and you stay a simp for the rest of your life because you don't know how to break the cycle. Those who can't break the simp cycle, you just come online and pretend to be alpha. Next video is going to be Charleston White breaking down why people cheat and continue to cheat. Let's get to it.
Your desire to be with lots of women, you don't have that same desire as us, homie. So it's people that sitting up saying, man, he lying but they don't understand the concept of how powerful spiritually sleeping with people are, right? Mm-hmm. That's why so many people cheat. They've slept with so many people. So they have this desire to sleep with new people. That's more fulfilling than sex itself. Just sleeping with somebody new. So when you taint yourself like that, that's a demon. That's what you battle with. That's like a vice.
Woo. And I completely agree with him. Like I told you guys, when you jump on your purpose, a man on his purpose does not have time to juggle 5 women because it's a complete distraction. The most 2, maybe 3 when you're single. But once you dive deep and you know who you are and you know what it takes for you to be successful and to be on your purpose, you can't be juggling a lot of women. The guys who are not on their purpose got all day to keep just getting women, to keep getting different baby mamas and different women all day long. Once they start that, they will keep that for the rest of their life. It's the same thing with women. When you start seeing women with 4 or 5 different baby dads, and you're like, how do you get to this? Because that's all your brain knows. That's all you know how to do. That's what you have conditioned your neurological system into doing. You do the same thing over and over again. Your body's going to say, we like this, so we're going to continue to do it. Whether it's good or bad or logical or delusion, your mind will continue to do it over and over again. So like he said, once you get used to sleeping around with different people all the time, you will continue to be that way. Which is why it's crucial that you find a purpose, other means to make you happy, where you're not getting too many dopamine releases from sleeping with people. Once you get used to sleeping with people, it's like a drug addiction. It's going to be hard to break, and soon you'll embrace it. Look at girls that do adult films. They start off saying, oh, I'm only going to do 1 movie. I'm only going to do 2 movies. It's the same way with girls being a stripper. Oh, I'm only going to work 1 night. I'm only going to work 2 nights. Next thing you know, you're embracing everything you're doing, and then you're going to want an award for it. Then you want to be recognized for it because you keep getting dopamine releases. This is Anthony Spade. Hopefully you guys are able to get the message behind the video. Comment, like, subscribe to both of my channels. Hasta la vista.